Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, welcome to COSA NOSTRA Radio. We are a poetry family located at allpoetry.com. And I'd like to thank Kevin and the crew for giving us a place to call home. We believe in freedom of speech. However, not all of the views and opinions on the show by the guests and poets are reflective of COSA NOSTRA ownership and management and are of their own free will. Enjoy this COSA NOSTRA program.
Hello. Welcome. This is ANTI-POETRT with ALBOTROSS Adams. We're going to start putting people on the line here and seeing who's who and what's what. 804, you've been waiting a long time.
Hello, this is me, Salwa. Hello, Adam.
Salwa, hello.
How are you this evening?
I'm all right.
I'm sure
305.
Yeah, Razz. How you doing, Adam?
Hey, what's up, man?
All right, we got anti-art movement here.
We got a 111.
It looks like I'm the one.
You're the one for sure. 570.
Usual suspect.
Hello, Raconteur.
It's me, the pom pom lady.
714. Holla.
Oh wow.
Holla, that's Boo.
And
Boo,
720.
Boo 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 boo.
720.
I have off today, Boo. I have off, so it's not
Boo.
too early. Hi.
Hey, sweet.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey, sweetie.
Cool. So, thank you all for calling and submitting pieces and supporting me in this unique kind of experience for me. And we'll just go ahead and start straight away here. I'm going to start with Gonzo because we got his part 2.
Oh, let me hide. Bye.
It's just the scary Christmas tale, everybody. We have a SoundCloud, and I'm gonna play it. But I'm gonna post the link in the chat for y'all, so you can read along. And definitely enjoy it. Here we go. Here comes Gonzo.
Papa, you tricked me. I thought you said this was going to be a happy story.
This story is awesome. There's knives and beer.
I don't like the stories because I think it's scary.
Be quiet. We're finishing this story.
You be quiet.
Stop fighting. Stop fighting. I said it would be both happy and scary.
Will Jan escape?
Of course he escaped. The story is about the only boy to ever escape Dimmerberger.
What is the Burr?
Dimmerberger is an unusual lava formation. The lava formed a circle. It is said to be a pathway for the devil to take his minions in and out of hell at his leisure.
So Jan escapes, right?
I told you, it says that in the title.
That's if he was the only boy in the Burr.
Was he the only one, Papa?
I'm afraid he was not.
You will never escape here.
Stealing things.
No, I hate Christmas.
You have been very naughty.
I wish my mom was here.
I wish anyone was here.
She eats them, of course. What else would you do with children?
Little boy, wake up.
What will you taste like?
This is the tale of the Yule of the Giant, and the only boy who ever escaped Dimmerberger.
Little boy, wake up.
Where am I? How did I get here?
One of those little freaks with a high-pitched squeak dropped you down this hole about 4 foot deep. If we can try and pry the wires that have us tied and bide our chance. We'll be short and frantic, but we can make it out if we really plan this. We just have to find the right time. I want to see my mother again. She's my only friend. The only one around since my father left and never came back. I want to say sorry for being such a brat. I'm sorry for rambling. You can call me Jack.
I know how you feel about wanting your mom, but I fear mine's gone, like your father had done, except up in the sky, so no hope for her to come home. Just a memory and I will cry. I don't know why. So anger is all that I feel left inside. I wish my mom was here. I even wish my dad was here.
I wish anyone was here.
I had a knife, but I fear those fiends, very queer, have confiscated our weapons, so we are left to our own discretion.
As the two young boys searched for their path, the dwarves secretly watched their struggle with a laugh. For they were not the first, nor would they be the last, nor the worst to try and stand tall to cast off the winds of fate and get back to their past. So the dwarves did patiently wait.
What's your name, little boy with no plan?
Stop calling me that. It's plain to see I am a giant, in fact. My name is Jan. Soon I'll be gone to bring the army back, to unleash hell at dawn.
That one simple word the dwarves knew quite well. One jumped into the pit to get closer as well as inquire a question, spurred by suggestion.
Little boy, do tell. What do you know of anything of hell?
Hell is a place of a wicked burn, and burn till lessons are learned.
Hell is a place for bad, naughty people.
And deserves to be punished for being so evil.
Yes, boy, indeed. But I clearly see you are not understanding my point. You're not understanding me. If this is a place for the wicked and bad, why are you here? I'm not home with your dad.
John the Giant fell silent as he tried to fight it, but the fear built inside him and the tears fell from his eyelids.
I'm afraid no escape will favor you today. No one escapes this place. No one escapes.
What about the boy from yesterday?
This tidbit of information had John's thoughts swarming. Alarming it sounded, but still he was confounded. It can only sound the only question in his mind that was found.
Why are you taking children?
For our queen.
What does she want with kids like us?
She eats them, of course. What else would you do with children? I'm full, little chaps, but many more chores to do. I'll see you after supper. Well, whichever one she doesn't chew to pieces.
Gonzo Christmas tale. Anybody chomping at the bit to comment on this?
You must follow it.
I love it personally.
Oh, Sweet, you go, Sweet. Ladies first. I think Rack would agree.
Well, hot damn. Can you imagine? Children go to hell. Everything's crazy. Why are you crazy? I just love that line. I love how he says it. Why are you crazy? Because they're nasty little sons of the bitches. That's why.
Right.
But no.
That's the reality, isn't it?
Isn't it? Because they're fun. They're small and they don't run very fast. I love it. It's great.
He's a mastermind. I know.
It's beautiful, fabulous. Love the read, the imagery, the detail. I can't say enough. This is great. I love you, Gonzo. You're a brilliant mastermind of evil and kindness all around.
Awesome. Thanks, Sweet.
You're welcome.
Rack.
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to this. I think he's got part 3 coming out next. If he's not done with it already. I can easily picture this being a cartoon. If you remember the name Arthur Rankin Bass, they were the ones that used to put out the cartoons, the Christmas cartoons and stuff. At least that's what I remember. But yeah, I mean the stories. I think he said it's based on an actual fairy tale from someplace else. But whatever it's based on, I mean, I'm sure it's unique in its own way, and you know, even if it's not, I haven't heard it, and just enacting it with all the voices and everything, the production is insane, and you know, he's got some really classic sneaky stuff going on. You know, when people traditional, you know, they scam the kid into coming with them. You know, it's not like they tied him up and kidnapped him. He came along willingly. So, you know, that was cool. And then, you know, then they spring their trap on him and they push him into the hole, and now it's all about getting away. But I mean, just the psychology of it, you know, the way that he did it was, you know, really brilliant.
Yeah, I would agree. Fully agree with that. Definitely. It's one of a kind, and it's great to have his work here. Anybody else want to speak on this?
Yeah, I thought this was fantastic. It has great sound production. What We Are Gonzo generates in these exchanges he's doing are experimental. They always have the overdubs with the voices, and it lures the listener into a kind of alternate frequency of radio, where, you know, the script went completely wrong and we're all now in some kind of unknown perpetual nightmare. And that effect is really working for him as to generating a kind of mainstream horror that is so catchy you'd almost blindly follow your way into this hell they're describing.
Definitely. It's wonderfully dark. It reminds me of like Christmas Brothers, you know, Grimm. Dark and twisted, you know, fairy tale. It's awesome. Amazing stuff.
Kind of in the style of Princess Bride, with the grandfather telling the two children the story.
Yeah, a little campy in that aspect, and I love it too. You know, it's great with your kids. Actually, like because you're like in two worlds at the same time, right? You're there in the living room or like the bedroom or wherever they are reading the story with the grandfather, but then you're also in the fairy tale as well, and it's great. So it's well done. 270.
Yes, this is Wayne again.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Wayne.
Wayne in the land of the hurricane.
Wayne is in the house.
Tornado. Tornado, not a hurricane.
Wayne. Yeah. Good to have you here, man. Good to have you here, brother, from my first show. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm going to sit back and listen for a minute.
All right. Anybody interested in... I know Boo's... Lizzie, you want to comment on this?
Oh, yeah, I was saying I love it. I love the whole theatrics behind it. And like you and Rack was saying, it is like you're sitting, listening to this, but at the same time being taken into that world, which really just adds to the whole experience of it. So I can't wait for the other parts. I'm sitting at the edge of my seat.
I know, right?
Don't fall in the hole.
Definitely keeps you enthralled and like, what? This said I dropped. How did I drop? I'm still on the line. Wow. Anyways.
You're still on the line.
The monsters won't catch you until you think you're alone on the bed at night.
Now, see, this has that deep voice that Boo loves so much. So I want to hear what Boo's take is on her man was back, and that creepy, dark voice. Boo.
Boo?
Boo-boo.
Yeah.
She's here.
Boo. Maybe she's on mute. Maybe
no, she's not. She's not on mute. I'm looking at it all.
No, she muted herself. Maybe she muted herself.
She's over here sitting on my work.
Yeah, if
or
she's
maybe
at work, she
works
mutes herself. Yeah.
I think, maybe we should just, man, I know Sel was hiding from the...
I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah,
from this one, so we're going to...
I told her she could come back.
I'm back. No more. I'm sorry, I'm the only one.
Right.
It's
scary. I get it. It's not for everyone. But he's, I'm sure you appreciate his other pieces.
Adam, I received word from your co-host. You have a WhatsApp program. You want to check that out, son?
Boo has a message for you on the board. Did you see it, Adam?
Okay, so anybody in a rush at all? Anybody kind of want to go?
Said Sweet Pea.
I think Sweet Pea wants to go next. Yeah.
Okay. Did you? Shoot. Let me look through the list here.
I got it.
She put it.
I got it.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Go for it then.
Yeah.
The floor is yours, girl.
I know how it is for your first show, so I got your back.
Thank you.
So this is called Narcissist Doesn't Cover It. So this is new for you guys. I haven't done this. So log me through it, okay? All right. Narcissist doesn't cover it. Black and blue covered skin doesn't even begin to tell the story of my death within. Twisted mind games took me to the brink. Flashing my wrist was the only way to think. Sleep deprived, friendships, controlled phone call screen, sex scripted porn show, baby doll. Never right, never wrong. Don't try to be strong. Imperfect pitch, sing out loud an American love song. High heels weighed in, skirt measure, hair trim. Locked in closets, eating books. Don't dare cry. Tell his lies. Shut down the crazy thoughts inside. I used to have intelligence. Now I accept my ignorance. Muscles always in pain. I must not win. Puppet master in control. Hold my every string. An empty shell. Don't make a thing. The master and eats my dreams. People see me alive, but I have to admit I was dead inside. Went off to school despite the rules. The fights were cruel. I ran away from the insane. Changed my address and my name. Trying to reconstruct the dead inside this broken home. Trying to stay alive. Today I rewrite one more page without a fight and pain.
Wow. Anybody want to go, comment on this?
Yes, please.
So, go ahead.
Hey, Sweet Pea. This is really, the way you read it, and the emotion you put in there, so fast, because it makes you, when you live with a narcissist, I had the same experience, kind of similar experience. make you anxious and make you don't know what to do. Like as you said, I used to have intelligence, now I accept my ignorance. It's just really sad how can someone, when manipulating your brain and manipulating you, you can just you feel dead inside because you can't see it. You can and you blame probably yourself. I ran away from the insane, changed my address and my name. Trying to stay alive today to write one more page without a fight. Wow, it's really moving, and I'm sure a lot of people will associate with this poem. I can't even find my words.
Great comment there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Rack.
My pleasure.
You know, CP, I kind of hate you because you started rapping this and it was so unexpected. You were like halfway into it before I realized that you were. Oh wait, I should be listening to the words. I mean, you totally blew me away when you started. I was like, what? Sleepy's rapping, and by the time I came to my senses, you were half done with it. But I mean, it was amazing, which is why I hate you, because you know I can't do that for shit. And you did a fantastic job. You did an amazing job. You really did. I mean, the subject matter is perfect for a rap. You know, it's poignant. It's on point. I mean, wow. You did an amazing job with that. I mean, you totally floored me. You really did.
Thank you.
Maybe she's got a new career ahead of her. I agree.
She's a bit of a chameleon.
Yeah, chameleon, definitely. But I loved seeing this side of. I've seen Sweet Pea's writing like shared on the radio one time before this. It's totally a different take on something else. So this was very cool. And I was with Rack right away at the title. I loved it. The way it had the internal rhyme with the narcissist, and yeah, it was great. Wayne, did you happen to hear
Yes, I heard
Sweet Pea's piece? What did you think,
yes,
Wayne?
That's what I said. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I said, give them hell, Sweet. You have intelligence, and narcissism is not all that bad. And all I think about is me. Just joking.
Something a narcissist would say, Wayne.
I love it. He said a lot in this one, right? I'm glad you got away from the insane, and you're one hell of a poet. That's all I can say. Good job, Sweet.
Thanks, darling.
Thanks, Wayne. Lizzie.
Yeah, no, this was a fantastic piece. Sweet. I have to agree with Sawa. The speed that you read it in had that sense of anxiety behind it, like when somebody is just rambling as you know, because they're so worked up and so nervous in their, you know, in their mind, and I loved that aspect of it because you really like put us in that spot, and you always write the most amazing stuff. This was different than I'm used from you. You know, usually you're like, you know, the queen of darkness kind of thing. So this was different, but I loved it. I think this was really it was. It was really.
No one died.
It was, huh?
No one died.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes we can't kill everybody. I know.
Unfortunately, sometimes.
That doesn't mean she's not going to come back and make up for it, though.
She'll kill 10 people this time instead of 5.
It's Christmas time. We can save the time.
All right. We're going to move along here. I'm going to pick a piece that's going to require a reader. So, let's see. Papa Terminus needed a reader, so I'm going to choose you, Razz, to read for me. Is that okay? It would be much obliged.
I'll be honored. As to Papa Terminus, I heard the myth. This man actually more or less started in the beginnings and roots of LCN, so we're all proud that he's back on board with family. And
definitely.
Yeah, he's been in the shadows for a while. I heard from others that their first shot here was Papa Terminus, the earliest member they remember from the site. These are kind of myths. Here's his right. It's called Dear Poet at Papa Terminus. Dear Poet, as we trudge down gravel roads, my heart shudders, it skips a beat. The scavengers soar over desolate streets, but still the city, it never sleeps. I hear the somber music lifting from cemeteries as I've kissed death's hand, like a gentleman greeting a lady dressed in saffron as the wind moans like a banshee song. Poet, I struggle with prose at times as I confide into you my secret desire to one day expire to face my own fate, be it outside St. Peter's Gate or falling into a pit of fire. Poet, I must express your influence. It drips like brandy in my poems, and I too have this love affair with the dark, a foreboding flood forth from my brain. As we amble over busy sidewalks, you read my thoughts, signing your name, across the high walls of the fortress which I build around my heart. My heart, poet, wasn't always dark, but it became hardened over time. With every heartache, it's been dead for years, much like your own poet. I've been dead for years, and I don't even know it. Perhaps I'm being overly dramatic. My voice is through these poems I pen. Many influences in my work. A poet, none more decisive than your gothic darkness. As the moon rises over your grave, poet, do you ever have any regrets? I hear winds blow from the south as I trudge down the gravel road alone. And poem.
Thank you, Razz. Thank you, Papa Terminus. Welcome back. Boo, you want to comment on this? Last? Okay. How about Rack?
Second last.
Oh.
It's so funny.
Razz, you read it, man. You go.
Yeah, it's definitely a deep write, and this shows the kind of history someone who's a mentor has with other poets, and it's very hard to describe in so many words why so many of these verses really are like on dying or losing one's heart. But that darkness he describes as gothic, it's been often mentioned in some of the rights recently, and that's a whole other turn when it comes to postmodernism, why I think it's appropriate for tonight's prompt, anti-poetry. When you focus too much on the darkness, then you're losing a bit of light of reasoning with the verse.
Indeed. That was a great response and valid truth. I feel it in this, too. A great piece and totally with the pomp of tonight's air. Lizzie, what'd you think?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I was just leaving him a comment. This was really an amazing piece. I like the fact that it's like a conversation with Edgar Allan Poe. And the fact that Poe was so fascinated with death, and it was captured in everything that he wrote. I think he did an amazing job capturing that whole gothic feel, and like if you were having a conversation with this amazing poet. I really like the poet. I must express your influence. It drips like brandy in my poems, and I have this love affair with the dark. Oh, foreboding flood forth from my brain. Love it. As a person who likes to write dark, that's like the perfect. I knew it. So yeah, this definitely, this was definitely an awesome write. I really, kudos, because this was an awesome write.
I agree. Definitely. We got Silk on the line, I think. 937. Is that Silk?
Hey, everybody. Yeah.
Hey,
Silk, did you happen to catch Papa Terminus's read?
I didn't, and I'm feeling bad. I missed everybody's. I miss Papa. I miss Sweet. Damn. Just trying to call in, but I could as soon as I could.
Okay, it's all good, man. Sweet, since you're still here, do you want to comment on Papa's?
Oh wow, I'm with Glo-lizzy, and the conversation between him and Poe is incredibly right. It's witty. It's just incredible. I'm almost lost for words because I'm extremely jealous. I didn't write it. There's so many great lines in here. Perhaps I'm being overly dramatic. My voice is speaking poems I penned. Many influences in my work, but poets, none more devious, decisive, and plastic darkness. I mean, just what a great mind kind of comes into this and speaking back and forth and giving him praise, and yet you have your own dead heart, your dead life, and just having that conversation, how you've influenced me, that even of your own kind of internal sadness and the thoughts of yourself throughout this whole poem. I thought it was just brilliant.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would love to comment. Thank you. I really like Papa Samuel's right. He just put so much emotion. The idea of writing, I love all the comments before me, that he writing to Poe because he understands him. He's a poet of darkness, and he will hear him and understand him. It's just incredible, even though in reality he won't, but that's the feeling it gives you. And then he go and talk about his heart a lot. Remind me of Blade poem when she said her heart was hardened. You can feel the pain, how life hardened his heart. It's like a journey walking. He's not really like sitting there. He's walking on the gravel road, and he finds himself alone at the end. I trudged down the gravel road alone. It's you can feel the loneliness and the pain that he has. Yeah, they're really amazing poem. That moved me deeply.
So second to last, Rex.
I mean, he kind of left me a little speechless too, because I'm thinking if I were to try to write like this, I'd go all fanboy because I'm a Poe fan too, so it would be hard for me to put it into words. And the line that he mentions about like brandy, the idea of savoring that sip of brandy, that ritual that some writers have, with drinking when they complete something, or just the idea of just after dinner drink and kicking back and having that snifter of brandy and relaxing, that ties in really well. But I mean, the whole poem overall is a wonderful tribute to Poe as a writer, and a great piece for his own catalog to call his own. He did an amazing job with it.
I agree. That darkness is intoxicating, and it definitely is like those long, deep sips of your favorite alcohol, as long as it's a sipping kind, I suppose. And you want to take those. You want to take that drink in like that. So, Boo, did you want to comment?
Yeah, I agree with everybody else. He writes the darkness so well, and I think the idea of a conversation with Poe is so cool. Poet, I must express your influence. It drips like brandy in my poems. The whole thing is great. Every line, every word is really, he pulls you in. It blew me away too, because I don't think I would have come up with this concept. It reads great, and it's sort of like a gentleman greeting a lady of death in the most polite, poetic way, kind of, and it was very well written.
All right, definitely. It was quite elegant, and I appreciate your perspective on it. I like that the Lady of Death, like he's talking to the Lady of Death or Darkness. Interesting. That's so cool.
I'm not talking about Lizzie. No, I'm just kidding.
She got her pom poms tonight, but maybe they're black pom poms. All right.
Got the gold in this one. I can see why.
So we're going to have you do your piece next. Would you mind posting it in the chat so that we could read along with your amazing dramatic read? Are you prepared?
Oh, I got it for you still.
I was going to try to hop up and go outside, but I guess I could do it in here. Hold on one second.
Did Wayne bring one? He might disconnect because of his situation where he is.
Oh, you can let Wayne go. It's fun. I'm not in a big rush, guys. It's fun.
I'm doing a comment on poems. I want to
So can you get
yeah,
prepared
go ahead and let Wayne go. It's fine.
If Wayne feels he might get disconnected.
I said
get my computer set up and stuff.
I wrote a comment for Papa. I said, it seems like you and Poe had quite a deep conversation. It's nice to hear you on Blog Radio again. The best line in the poem I thought was, many influences in my works, but poet, none more decisive than your gothic darkness. And you don't have to worry about your poetry, Papa. You're on top of the hill. You might get lonely up there, but you are the man. And tell Poe I said hi. Great job.
Oh, Wayne. So that's so. I'm sure he's he's already like giddy and overcome with everybody's gracious comments, and tell Pope we say hi.
I like
Pope we say hi for real.
That's cool.
So Wayne, you're reading Train Trip to Christmas Resort. Is that the piece you want to share?
I just pulled it up and put it on. I'm not worried about we leave or anything, but I'll read it. Let me get over to it. Let me read it.
Please,
right.
Please.
Over to it.
Okay, you got to read it to us, Wayne.
Well, I'm not trying to get to it.
Read to yourself, Lee. It's okay.
We're not inside your head, yeah.
It's called a Train Trip to Christmas Resort. And it's a little alliteration I did. And here it goes like this. Traveling turquoise torch train, tickles track. Ambassador announces alloy lumen, rig drac. Front fireman speeds, forging fire with fuel. Skipper shouts crew commands from stool. Whipping wind whispers worn weathered word. Horseman puppeteer pastor people politely heard. Raging rectangular dwelling, rise raised round rail. Honeydew haze hangs on hollow homes and hillside trail. 2 ticketed teachers trained tomorrow's today. Gaze guest guards, giant jewelry getaway. Metallic muscle machinery arrives at resort rooms, bringing bar, buffet, brandy bottle, and burgundy bouquet blossoms. In.
Wow, I love that. This was fun. What a tongue twister. Rack, since yeah, Rack.
Yes,
yeah, Rack. Come on, man.
No problem. Wayne, man, with the alliteration, it's got to be hard reading it at the speed of a speeding train.
It is.
That's normally the way Wayne. I think of Wayne. The way he reads, almost like a machine gun sometimes. It's part of what I guess just the way you tend to read, but it's more the content of what you put into it that stands out more than anything, because you get very reflective and introspective, and in this case nostalgic, and it was wonderful. And like Sweet Pea likes to say, we're going to be quoting her all night. Nobody died. So I was waiting for someone to be tied to the train tracks, Wayne.
I'm going to get you next week.
Next time. Well, Sweet, since we still have you, I'm going to come to you again.
Oh, I love this, but I love Wayne, I think he could the cat's going in the sandbox and covering it up and maybe ate it or something. I'd be like, oh, Wayne, you're the greatest. But I love his alliteration. I don't think that I could probably say half of what he says, but he does like to twist his tongue up quite a bit and offer it to the ladies. But this one doesn't say that in it either. So metallic muscle machinery arrives resort rooms, bring bar, Barbed bucket, brandy bottle, burgundy bouquet, blossom. I just think it's so beautiful. When he talks about his little train. And I want to jump on the train with you, Wayne.
Is it going to Wonderland? Is it going to Wonderland?
We're not talking about Wonderland tonight, no.
Maybe Snowpiercer. Hey, Razz, what'd you think of this?
Yeah, definitely. It does have an element of horror again, and that in of itself is anti-poetry, like the previous writer had suggested. And so here there's sort of a plot from Bentley Little's The Burning, in which phantom ghost trains go on haunting old railroad tracks in the United States of America, and that symbol of itself is a ghost story. You know, it's not supposed to be classic poetry, but one of relations of how you have America haunted, and I like that coming from this writer. And there's also the mentioning of the brandy bottle, so I guess Rack was right. You have to use a little bit of smell.
Perfect job of describing it.
So, would you like to comment on this? On Wayne's piece, so. I think he might be getting a drink too. It's an inspired night.
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, no, it's the stupid mute button. I'm always on mute. It's like autopilot. But I totally dug this whole piece, and I always dig your writing too, Wayne, because you always have your unique style here, and I really love your metal stanzas the most. The whipping wind whispers, warm weathered word, porcelain puppeteer, passengers, people politely heard, raging rectangular dwelling rides, raised round rail, honeydew haze hangs on hollow homes and hillside trail. I like the way it rolled off your tongue, and all that alliteration you had all the way through the whole piece was fantastic too. I threw a little alliteration in now and then, but you just went alliteration the entire poem, and that was awesome. I thought, and you made it work too. I mean, it's hard to do that too, to put that many same letter words together and have it actually come out good. So great job on that. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate it, Phil. Ready to be back.
Anytime.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, Wayne. You really did a good job with the alliteration, not only in the letter but the sounds too, the sound alliteration aspect as well. And you chose very well your words for telling of the weaving of the tale with your alliteration, and hearing. So it was very, and I loved a lot of the comments about the kind of hidden meaning in this, and the nostalgia aspect, and the ghosts of a dead thing. In that sense, it almost is definitely against the grain of common writing. So it was thank you for bringing this to my show, man. Oh, anytime, Wayne. I love it, Wayne. I love you. I love your writing, and I'm glad to have you part of this.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for your comments.
All right, so we're gonna move along. Silk, do you have your piece ready? I hope it's part 3 of your flash fiction, man. I'm dying to hear it.
Yeah, if I can get off mute here and get back to the board, I'm grabbing it right now. Actually, I had it, and then I lost it on the copy paste, messed up somehow because I almost pasted a role play reply I was doing earlier to somebody. Okay, here we go.
That would have been interesting.
Oh, it was nothing naughty. It was soaking, drinking wine while saddling his horse is about all you would have seen. But posting it right now. And this one's part 3. Since I know Adam liked my cyberpunk thing a lot, and this is definitely, I think, anti-poetry because it's more like a crazy story than a poem. But here we go. Blood and Masquerades. We got a job, UN. Her voice slid across my ear as I sipped on High Shelf Jack, in a voice that could teach the serpent of Eden the deepened meaning of sun. You know I'm always up for a bit of foreplay, mon chéri, I replied, as I turned, following her to the door, watching the sway of her hips. The way her ass looked in skin-tight, hyperweave stealth combat armor got me hot as August in Las Vegas before the dome went up. She wears the shadows of this city like a cheap cocktail dress, rides it hard and throws it away, torn, battered, and soiled if it pisses her off, and violence always gets her wet. She said, regrets are for the dead, just before she sliced into security like a priestess of technomancy, thoughts laced in the nano-neck mesh of our own private data slipstream. My God, she was hell. Dark art and darker poetry. A goddess cast in metal and flesh, silicon and wet wire dreams. No back alley butcher shop augments. A cutting-edge cybernetic filigree. Shit, it's a setup, she growled, though her eyes had that bloodlust gleam as she unslung her weapon from her back and stroked her dragon's barrel, as if it were a lover. Perhaps it was. It breathes fire and has a nasty hiss as it belts out 300 armor-piercing rounds a minute, not to mention its little eggs. Good. I was getting bored with all this sneaking, was all I could say. Before, we were hurled balls to the bone deep into a rush riot clusterfuck of elite guards yelling, "Get on your..." cut off by the roar of her angry dragon, the far wall detonating under the screaming wail of a seance rocket-propelled grenade, molten hot shrapnel spraying as I rolled for cover, twin automatic Soothsayer handguns unleashing a hailstorm of metal-shredding death. I caught her eyes across the bullet-ridden malaise, and I could tell that she was hot, laughing as she fired full auto from the hip, then let rip a hellish blaze of ignited chem fuel that made napalm look like kiddie play. Soothsayers clicking empty, I flipped the switch to my displacer field, feeling the surge of implanted designer battle drug cocktails dump and wail through my veins as I went in close for the bloody pleasures of the melee. We met blade to blade on the dance floor of a carnage-soaked masquerade, and by the way she licked the crimson from her lips, I could tell she wanted a more carnal soiree. She pulled a cigarette from a jewel-encrusted case. Now give me a fucking light and get that holodeck. I'm in the need of a smoke and a good lay. I flashed a devilish grin as my Zippo flipped to flame. Good. This wolf wants to play. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Holla.
Boo.
Oh, I knew you'd call me first. Yeah. This is hot, sexy, poetic. I love the storytelling. I love the way you read it. It does remind me of like a noir sort of film or book or I don't know what, but it was really good, really interesting. I wanted to know more. I love every line. I love balls to the bone. We all need a good lay from time to time. The whole thing was just like, whoa, I want more, Silky. Good stuff. Nailed it.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Boo.
Absolutely. Lizzie.
Yeah, no, this is amazing storytelling. I really got into it. It was seductive as hell. It was definitely enough to get, the steam boiling in your veins. It had that whole action-packed movie kind of feel to it. Like, this was just an amazing, amazing piece.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you, Lizzie.
Yeah.
Oh, you are welcome.
And we're going to come to... Zoe, you want to speak on this?
I think what everyone has said, really, I've said the same thing, like Boo watching a scene of a movie, as if he caught in the middle of this action. I don't know if I'm on the action. It's only seductive action.
There's going to be action, so what's the action?
Storytelling. Your storytelling is amazing. You just like keep rolling. You really have this gift of storytelling. Well done.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Sweet.
Ooh. Well, we have played in this video before. I believe there's a wall I shall meet you. Absolutely. So seductive and so cool with yourself, huh?
I can hear.
Sweet.
I said yes.
Yeah, you didn't quite catch it.
I can hear you.
So, you and I have played in the city of sin before. I believe there's a wall that I shall meet you for. Yeah,
I know.
Speak of the wall. Yes.
Might have to do a part 2 or part 3 now, I think, sometime.
Well, I don't know. We haven't been to the wall in a while. But when the wolf plays, you know I play with him.
All right, a lot of inside track here. I'm
innocent.
not quite sure what's going on, but it's kind of steamy, and I'm interested to know. Let me play a part in this. I'll definitely be a footstool if I can. All right. Wayne, did you happen to catch Silk's read?
Yes. Oh, yes. I said, damn, Silk, I think I'm in love with this babe. A hailstorm of metal straight and death? That's what I'm talking about. Give me some napalm. This bitch rocks. I want
do
more.
You love it.
I have to go. I have to go because I've been cut off by the roar of the angry dragon. Come here, baby. I love this one. Good job.
Silk, I think you got another fan, man.
Well,
catching storm.
You got a line. Sophie got a line.
Century.
Anybody? I'm gonna move on unless anybody else really wants to.
In 20 minutes. Yeah, I have to go in like literally 20 minutes. I have to leave. Like go say bye.
So that was great cyberpunk fiction. You have to have your own little stuff at Barnes and Nobles.
I've been trying to work it out more and do more like story stuff, so I appreciate it.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, sweet.
You can do Salwa next.
Good
night.
Yeah, I already am. I'm on it. I was asking if anybody else wanted to comment, but
so I'll be waiting later.
No, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying who's going to go next. That's what I heard.
No, but I see that you have a time frame, so I should actually keep updating like the question, like, hey, whose clock is running low?
That's what I thought you were asking. I thought that's what you
were
asking.
I understand.
I'm so sorry.
So yours is on the board. Go ahead and read, Salwa.
Thank you. Give me 1 second. Sorry, need to refresh. Where is it?
Step over the angry dragon.
Okay. Oopsie. What did I do? Here we go. When the night, I don't know mine is anti-poetry or not, but we shall see. When the night falls from the sky, quand la nuit tombe du ciel, quand la nuit tombe du ciel et qu'un homme aime une femme, mais elle a peur d'aimer à nouveau. Il ressent de la tristesse dans ses yeux. Il laisse ses larmes couler dans son cœur. Une fois, seul, il pleure. Il murmure avec douceur. Tu me laisses te connaître au fond de toi. Tu me laisses te montrer ce que l'amour pur. Et quand un homme aime une femme, il sait qui est elle. Il rêve de son sourire. Il murmure avec douceur. Je ne te demanderai jamais de changer. Je me tiendrai à tes côtés. Il a hâte de la tenir dans ses bras, lui dire tu es l'amour de ma vie, quelque chose dans ton sourire, où j'y vais. Quand la nuit tombe du ciel, il désire qu'être avec elle, tout tendrement. And the night falls from the sky when a man loves a woman, but is afraid to love again. He feels sadness inside her eyes. He lets her tears flow in his heart, and when alone he cries. He whispers softly, if you let me inside of you, if you let me show you what true love is. And when a man loves a woman, he knows who is she. He dreams of her smile. He whispers softly in her ear, I will never ask you to change. I will stand by you. He can't wait to hold her in his arms and tell her, you are the love of my life. Something about your smile wherever I go. When the night falls from the sky, he yearns for her tenderly, deep, deep inside, and the storm.
Thank you, Stella.
That's pleasure.
Rack. Rack's on deck.
I'm here.
What do you think of Stella's?
Wow. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
You okay?
Maybe go over the script and go back.
Should I go to someone else, Rack, while you get yourself together?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, please.
Okay, no problem, man. So.
Yeah, I always love Salah's rights here, especially I've been getting used to your French. You're always just messing me all up. But I love the sentimentality and it just had a deep feeling of being hurt and then trying to find love again, but being scared of that, because I think anybody who has been in love and hurt a couple times could definitely relate to that. And to me, I like down here you kind of saying where you said, and when a man loves a woman, he knows who she is. He dreams of her smile. He whispers softly in her ears, I will never ask you to change. I'll stand by you. He can't wait to hold her in his arms. And that's true. When you're in love with a woman, you just want to have your arms around her all the time. At least for me, anyway. I'm kind of a affectionate partner, I guess, but I always want my hands or my arms around my partner, and so I totally get that. I really loved it. It's a very beautiful piece.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Rack, did you want to come back to this? Are you ready? Prepared?
I'm good. I mean, I enjoyed it a lot, Sal. There's something to be said about approaching someone almost like a wild animal in a sense. Otherwise you're going to scare them away. That feeling of acknowledging what it is that they went through without actually saying anything about it. It's just the right way to treat someone delicately and tenderly, and you encompass that and highlight the tenderness that's kind of needed to be in a relationship with someone that's been through a lot, as most of us have in our lives, especially as we get older. A little more mileage, a little more wear and tear in the road. But
thank you.
That's actually quite a beautiful sentiment. I love that too. That's so true. As we wear thin or become more weathered through time, and to be treated a little bit more patiently and delicately it's a necessity. It's a necessary thing, because our past traumas can narrow our vision of how we perceive others. And sometimes we need someone to approach us, or we approach others keeping that in mind, that they've already been through things that they may not even be you. It may not be that you're affecting them that way. It's just their past trauma. It comes out, and they might. And it's delicate. It's a delicate thing sometimes, the back and forth and the dance. To try to get to know somebody or hope to love them or them love you, and it's a delicate thing. And I think she captured it well.
Thank you.
Wayne, did you happen to catch Soa's piece here?
Yes, I did. I said, man, this is lovely. You did a wonderful job of telling how it feels to be in love. My whole body was starting to crawl with chill bumps. You said it so well. It is the truth. As a woman, you have to know her inside and out. And I can't wait to sit alone at night and cry again. Great job.
Wait, you're funny.
Oh, Wayne. Thank you, Wayne, for that wonderfully insightful comment and empathetic too. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? I think I'll be huddled under the covers in my own world of crushed beneath rejection. I feel you. We'll probably probably move on unless anybody else wanted to comment on this. Razz or Lizzie?
You want me to speak my piece? I think Sala really nailed it on the edge. When a man needs a woman, he feels it from deep inside. Some of these passages, how his own emotions become the depression that goes on in the heart, are definitely deep. It's one that I would see in a connection that has a long-lasting relationship value.
Thank you so much, Razz.
Thanks, Razz, for that, your insight on that. Boo, go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is beautiful, and this is pretty much the definition of love. When someone knows you well enough, you say, if you let me inside of you, if you let me show you what true love is. It's hard to let those walls down and let someone in, like Rack said. You know, the older you get, the more jaded you get, the more damaged you've been. Harder to let people in. And then the key there is, I will stand by you, because anybody can walk away. It takes a real man to stick around and make it work. And anyone deserves it, and you do. Good job.
Thank you, Boo. So much.
Thank you, Boo. It's good to hear that side of things, for sure. Lizzie?
Yeah, I remember hearing this poem before, and it's always, it always hits me, because people, like everybody was saying, when you've been hurt and you have that trauma, you tend to be fearful and you push people away. And it's not that you want to push them away, it's just that fear of ever being hurt again, that you'd rather put those walls up and, it's the, keep 6 feet apart, because, that's the safest zone for everybody, you know what I mean? And, yeah. And so, and so it really does touch on that. And yes, like Boo said, it takes a real man to stand by you and to deal with the craziness that's going to come out of you when, you're pushing away, but at the same time, I'm pulling you close, you know what I mean?
Craziness.
Oh, yes, no.
It's, I want you, but I don't want you. You know what I mean?
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Wait, where are you leaving? You know what I mean? So, yeah, it takes a real man to deal with the psychopath part of us, you know what I mean?
I hope I'm not like this. I hope I'm not a psychopath.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I know me and Boo are. I know me and Boo are, Get away. No, come back. Where are you going?
That was funny. I love her. I love your comment. I don't know what you mean. I'm just being silly. Thank you. I love this.
She's a nice girl.
Yes, I love Lizzie. She knows I love her.
Thank you. I love you too.
Yeah.
All love around, holler.
Yeah.
Wonderful. A lot of love going on here. A lot of sketchy love.
Sketchy love.
Sketchy love and innocent love meeting together. Sometimes love is a concoction of wonderfully dangerous proportions and brandy. A little bit of brandy involved, and maybe that'll smooth things over here in the dark corners of love. All right. Boo, we're going to go with you next. If you could post your impromptu piece on the board here so that people could read along.
Okay.
Thank you.
Boo on you. Boo, 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 boo.
I think it may be somewhat different for me. I'm not sure because I have so many damn poems. I don't even know. But, so anyway, this is called Children's Session.
Take it away, Boo.
Full of smoke and the chemicals within.
What's happening?
A quick rush of joy, euphoric train wreck. A cure may be legal for a cashier's blank check. Plant matter burning, charring my lungs, an irritated throat, and a cough soon to come. Press it to a friend and beg them be quick, so I can burn my lungs again. Let my blood run thick. Serotonin chained and forced to make me feel good, yet a non-addictive substance, half misunderstood. Less harmful than tobacco, alcohol still worse. Sadly brainwashed nation where impressions rehearse. Generations played with loud, misguided cries. They say it makes you stupid, another heartless lie. We'll strap a gas mask to a monkey and force it THC. Forget about the oxygen, I wonder what we'll see. It seems the brain cells died, it has to be the drug. Government made a discovery, they ought to be less smug. But back to my friend and out in the cold, forced to be hidden from long outdated scold. Celebrating beauties in the world that was forgotten. We're told it's overrated, like fine Egyptian cotton. I know from experience this has to be divine. I could not exist if the sun could not shine. The wind has stopped blowing, the rain takes its place. To feel divine beauty of the liquid touching face. Is it something natural and comes from within? Wow, I'm still standing in the cold blistering wind. And poem.
Thank you, Boo, for a wonderful piece. Razz?
Yeah, that was real slam there. You have your heart open, but then all that's left is all that cold air draft below degrees because who or what subject matter you want to relate with is the equivalent of being left out in the cold. So I think these are real raw emotions that cover that form of being disconnected from parts of either society or on a personal relationship where they're no longer responding. They're like asking you to hide in the fridge and you rather just stay warm.
Yeah, thank you, Razz.
Thanks, Razz. Wayne, did you catch Boo's piece here?
You got somebody on hold, too.
Yeah, I did. I had to go down and feed my cat. My cat was raising hell. Sounded like Boo's having sounded like Boo was in love and you've been heartbroken again, but I need to read the poem because I don't want to say nothing silly on there, but like I usually do. But I'll read the poem and I'll leave you a comment.
Wayne,
okay,
you are being very humble because you have an amazing insight. You cut like a knife into your insightfulness. So don't ever downplay yourself, buddy. 218.
Hello.
218. Hello.
It's Blade.
It's the lovely Blade.
Hello, Miss Blade.
Marvin the Martian. All right. Blade, did you happen to catch Boo's piece here? Did you hear it?
No, I'm just reading through it now.
Anybody? Lizzie?
Yes. Yeah, I could be completely wrong, and I'm going to ask the question, but this, because I know how Boo is, she writes a lot about pharmaceutical companies and how they screw you over on a constant basis. And this gives me the feeling that this has to do more with being left out in the cold in the sense that, you know, there is a drug that we're all very familiar with that can help us all with our depression and our anxiety and everything else. And the government wants to say, oh, no, it's not good for you. It's just as bad as heroin, which it's not. Okay? And that's what I'm getting at. It's like this has to do with, we're all left in the cold because we're being forced to take serotonin and all this bullshit that isn't going to do crap for you, okay, except probably wreck your liver and freaking shoot your freaking kidneys to shit. But, you know, the one thing that would cure us all, if they put in the drinking water, the world would be a happier place. They refuse to give it to us. So that's what...
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know? Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, a couple of drops of this shit into the drinking water, we'd all be a very happy world.
That reminds me of a dangerous game. It's a short story by Stephen King. It's in his a brother is a scientist, actually puts like something in the water to calm people down in Waco, Texas, and it has a dramatic negative side effect.
The end of the whole match.
Yeah. Anyways, though, so Sawa, you want to speak on this?
Yes, I agree. I was confused when you said heartbroken because I saw that too from the beginning. As you said, you're standing outside in a cold, blistering wind for a quick pool of smoke and the chemicals within. And also your experience. You talk about your experience as a nurse, where you said it there. Can't remember. Right? She talked about her experience, didn't you?
Yeah.
Boo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know from experience that has to be divine. I could not exist if the sun could not shine. I mean, it can be read different way, but I don't know why my mind took me like Lizzie about, because you seen it. You treat people who have who are addicted to drugs, so you really have first experience with this. And I love this kind of ride because it's you take yourself outside and you see the like empathy for people. You don't want to see them going through this because you treat them, so you don't want to see other people going through this. Whatever the kind of drug, doesn't have to be alcohol or as you said, it could be worse than that. Really well done, Boo. That's very honorable right. I like it very much.
Thank you, Zawa.
My pleasure.
Thank you, so, for that insight. Silk.
Yeah, it's a great piece, and I like how you kind of put a message into this too. It is true. While I think some people pharmaceuticals work very well for, I think a lot of people it's very overprescribed, and at least for a lot of people, because I know doctors. I'm pretty sure I've heard that doctors get like kickbacks for pushing these pharmaceuticals on people from the pharmaceutical companies,
crazy,
and stuff like that. And I've been. I mean, some people really need these medications though too. But in my experience, I've been to a lot of places with a few issues I have, and they always want to push you on. Even they want to push you on something horrible right away, like an antipsychotic or.
Right away.
I saw a doctor and I told him, hey, I'm having anxiety issues. Is there anything you can get me that I asked him, like, they'll just kind of like help me get over the hump of getting, myself back in immersion therapy to where I'm good again. And he put me on Seroquel. I'm like, dude, I asked you for something mild, not like a brain-killing drug. I mean, Seroquel is good for sleeping, but that shit knocks you out.
Incoherent for
like,
days.
And that's hard to get off.
Yeah, that stuff will knock you out for like 20 hours. But and yeah, they have other things. But no. I agree with what people are saying about weed too. But I thought it was a great piece.
It definitely is. It's there's a lot here, a lot more than meets the eye. It covers a lot of layers. There's a lot going on here in this piece. I loved it, and a lot of the out of bounds kind of imagery too. There's some wild imagery, very beautiful and dark. I love it. So, Rack, do you want to speak on this?
Well, I think the key word that you just said was layers, and when you drill down to something specific, you're going to get a very narrow interpretation of what you've written. But when you kind of pull the camera back a little bit and focus on something a little more general, like she did about the relationship with the drug, instead of mentioning it specifically and hammering home something very specific, she wrote about it in a slightly more general term so that you can interpret it about the relationship in general, a relationship with the drug or a relationship with another person, and you can interpret it in either way, which makes it much more layered, like you mentioned. So by doing that, she opened up the piece to a lot more views and a lot more ideas, and people are going to pull different things from it. But she may have been thinking about the pharmaceutical company, but if someone goes into it thinking about a relationship with another person, you can still interpret it that way, and it would still apply, making it a very beautiful piece.
Thank you, Rack.
Truly,
I'm ready for comment.
I felt. Oh, Wayne. Okay, Wayne.
Yeah,
we'll let you comment on this, and then we're gonna move forward after your comment.
This is a wonderful poem. It's deep in a lot of different directions, but I think having a double dose of what they're feeding us, if I had a penny for the dead brain cell I had, I'd be rich right now. Doctors suck. They get an average of $200,000 a year in kickbacks from the drug industry. Every one of them gets about $200,000 a year. So all I need is a new drug. Great job, Bo.
Newfangled tooth. I hear you.
Thank
all
you,
right,
Wayne.
we're gonna have Miss Blade go ahead and read her piece now for us. It's on the board.
I thought Lizzie was going to go, and then
may have to.
Lizzie has to go.
Oh, all right.
Sorry.
Okay, so just hold on. I didn't know Lizzie had to go, so let me Try to go get that.
That's all right. You can let Blade go. You can let Blade go. It's fine.
I mean.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. Let Blade go.
Do you got time, Liz?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Let Blade go. You already have her on the board, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. I'm
just trying to juggle and balance.
No, that's fine. Go ahead. I know.
Yeah,
I agree there. Remember? I go I've been there. Remember? We're good.
All right. So, Blade, you have the floor, dear.
You're doing great, Adam. This is titled Breathing Underwater. I used to love swimming. I would slide underwater and let the waves wash away my hesitation. I would float down rivers until I reached the end of myself and dive into chlorinated two blue pools that burned away my pain, always remembering a sign over the outdoor pool where I grew up. Welcome to our ool. Notice there's no pee in it. Let's keep it that way. I would sit 6 feet underwater until my lungs ached for oxygen, and I wished that I could breathe under ocean. I wonder, do mermaids ever wish to walk on land and feel hot and cold sand squish between their toes? Maybe I just take my feet for granted, but I wanted so desperately to never leave the water. I don't remember how old I was when I first started to cry. Not those childish temper tantrum type tears that bled for attention. No, these were never-ending aches for something other than whatever it was I felt. I cried out all of the water I had absorbed over the years of underwater escapades, and I sobbed until my chest was numb and swollen and I couldn't breathe. I cried until my body started to shrivel, and I wasn't sure how my body could hold any more liquid other than blood, and then I tried to cry that out too. I exhausted my eyes and pushed out my pain so I could swim in something other than tears. And I breathed out my life breath so my memories could live in my surroundings. Maybe then I could finally be immortal, live on in the hope of better things to come. And peace.
Damn.
Silk.
You would make me go first, so I'm trying to. It was an awesome piece. It was kind of like the mic dropper type of piece right here. I totally dug it. I love that little humor you threw in with the ool. Notice there's no P in it. Let's keep it that way. I like that got me a little chuckle. But the rest of it was it gave some good contrast too, because a lot of this was really dark, especially with the part about crying out all your tears and not knowing if there was how any more could come, and then trying to cry out the blood too, and then just wanting to feel anything but what you're feeling now. And I totally get that feeling. I've had that feeling many times, and totally understand it. And this is an incredible piece. You read it perfectly. Just amazing. I loved it.
Thank you.
I agree. There was a stark, and I think that's what kind of helped this kind of be anti, is this odd sort of thought that just pops in the middle of a kind of comedic thought. And it's kind of interesting because minds work that way. We can be in a traumatic tear, thinking, feeling, and suddenly,
Yep.
And then you dive right in. The thing that broke me in this was, I don't remember when I first cried, and then I started thinking that myself, like, do I remember even when I first felt pain and how devastating? This was powerful and interesting and totally unique, and I really loved it too. Wait.
Thank you.
Rack.
I enjoyed it very much. The emotions, the sense of drowning that you evoke when sliding under the water. Even like Self mentioned that ool with no P. I saw that when I was little, and it stuck with me as well. I was like, it wasn't like my first exposure to that kind of humor, but it was like just very memorable. And you know, I thought it was stupid, but I laughed at it, and that contrast between laughing at it and thinking it was stupid at the same time was kind of what made it stick with me. And that's kind of the thought of the pain that you're talking about too, I think. So it fits perfectly with the rest of the piece. You know, there's a contrast to that pain that you're feeling, and I won't say it's a beautiful thing, but it's a relatable thing, and yeah, I can kind of feel it. I know where you're coming from.
Thank you, Rob. That was very insightful. Lizzie?
I'm sorry, I had to walk away to take care of my dog, so I didn't get to hear it. I have to read it afterwards, and I'll leave you a comment. Sorry.
Totally understandable. It's totally understandable. Boo, would you want to comment on this?
Yes, sure. Well, every time she reads, it's just, I mean, you never know what you're going to get, and it's full of emotion, and this definitely is. Sorry, my page is frozen. I'm trying to get back over there. Figured. Yeah, Salwa, can you go, and then I'll go after that? I'm sorry. I got to get my page
She
back.
dropped. She dropped.
Sorry,
a while ago. Wayne.
Yes.
I'll go next.
This is a sad poem of a lady wanting to escape from her reality. Beautifully written and read with a lot of deep emotions. To want a better existence is something we all yearn for, and she brought the topic up perfectly. I love you. I love your voice, and I'm willing to escape with you. Great job. Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wayne.
You want to speak, Wayne?
Razz.
Yeah, I found this to be brilliant as the stage performance piece, breathing underwater, that's suffering from a deep state of depression. Your life becomes nothing more than what it's like through that film lens of tears. And I think the poet takes it here. There was someone who crucially wronged them, why they originally felt depressed in its earliest stages of that sickness. You do feel kind of violated on a very fundamental and primal level. And so while you're drowning, you're wondering, who are all these other people that are above the surface just waving at you like they're out of some, alternative rock song. I couldn't say which exactly, but they shouldn't be waving at you. Our Sister Charity, I believe was the name of the group. That song, Clumsy, why are they just watching you? Why you feel like you're completely folding over with this sickness and don't remember what had caused that original emotional wrong?
Thank you, Razz.
Yeah.
That is, I agree, and a lot of that, for sure. That's a good perspective on it. I didn't even think of the idea of being, drowning and seeing everyone above and wondering why they're just letting you drown. But that's even more crushing. Thank you. I wasn't depressed enough. All right. Lizzie, we're gonna Lizzie, if you're ready to read.
Party, Adam.
No need to be depressed, Adam. It's all good.
Anyways, don't mind Adam and his. Boo, you still want to comment? I thought you were gonna maybe write one. All right, go ahead, Boo.
No, that's nice. No, I was just gonna say, I don't know if your poetry is always like real or fiction or whatever, but it seems like you've been through a lot of shit. And I love the title, Breathing Underwater. I think that's so clever, but I mean, I don't remember how old I was when I first started to cry. Those childhood temperatures, like you were really cried your heart out. And I cried until my body started to shrivel. And, it takes a long time for your body to shrivel up and expand, and that's what it does to the skin. And it's the thickest layer of the skin, so you're wrinkled, you're withered, you're dried out, you're just spent kind of, and you're over it, and you're over the abuse. And that's a hard thing to admit. I breathe until my lungs my memories could live in my surroundings. This is just like really, really deep and beautiful and powerful, and as the way you read it was amazing, but it also feels like it's a little bit hopeful there at the end. So I thought it was very moving, and you did a great job.
Thank you so much, Boo.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Lizzie, if you're ready, I'm going to post your link to the board here.
Okay.
So everybody refresh if you got to, because it's on the board.
I have to refresh because I don't see.
Lizzie herself has to refresh it. I'll just give them the heads up because it's like we'll always be like, "Hey, it's posted to the board." And everyone's like, "What? No, it's not." Well, refresh and you'll see it.
Let's see. All right. By the time mine refreshes, I could probably be dead. All right, so let's see what these are. Here we go. All right.
I love you, Liz.
All right, so here we go. It pains to be beautiful. Snip, tuck, pull. Beauty's meant to be painful. Injections to plump lips, another to numb the face. Don't worry about a thing. That only occurs in a small percent. Look into the screen. Pick who you want to be. Trained surgeons will dice you up. You'll be envied by every woman and become every man's wet dream. Society dictates beauty. And, honey, you don't quite fit the definition. A few $100,000 buys a perfect pair of tits, remove a rib, and have a guitar shape anyone would want to play. We aim to please, fulfill your deepest dreams. Please sign the dotted line, releasing us from all responsibility. What a shame she died so young. But look at those perfect lips and high cheekbones. The most beautiful corpse laying among the rest of the dead. And bones.
Oh, man. Mic drop on that. Boy. Rack, please.
Yeah, Rack.
Cynical much? Wow. You know, well, as someone who's visually impaired, my idea of beauty is probably a little different from some other people's, but that doesn't invalidate where you're coming from, and that's the sad part. You know, so some people, I guess, miss out because they don't see what's in front of them because they're distracted by what they actually see that's in front of them. So it's a powerful message, and it hits close to home in a lot of cases, I'm sure. And you know. You know, at the very least, I've said it before that your writing is beautiful. So you can hang on to that more than anything.
Thank you, Ed.
Boo.
Goes to show you all the crap and all the pressure that women have to go through, and it's like every day. You know, you have to be superwoman, and you have to be hot, and you have to be good looking, you have to be a mother, and you have to be a wife, and all these other things. And the title is perfect. It pains to be beautiful because it's so much work and so much effort sometimes. And, you know, don't worry about a thing. Death only occurs in a small percent. Look into the screen and pick who you want to be. And that's what they promise you, you know, fake tits, fake ass, they got fake lashes. I mean, all this stuff. Now they even have jeans with, like, the butt in them and already. It's just like, oh, false advertising. And the definition of what women think beautiful is. But if you ask most men, I don't think they would agree with this. I think they like a natural woman, most men. But you bring up all the good points that are so sad but so true. And it was funny, too. And I could tell you had fun writing it because I liked your giggle.
I did have fun writing it.
Fulfill your deepest dreams. Please sign the dotted line.
Hey, Lizzie. You know, you heard the story about the woman with the and this is actually a true story. I'm not being a smartass. This isn't a joke. She had the breast implants, and then she went in the airplane, and they exploded from the pressure.
Yeah, I heard that one. I heard that. It's true.
TWA.
And now, are those weapons of mass destruction, or are those dirty bombs? I'm wondering.
Well, that depends how big they are.
I don't know.
I don't know. I was trying to go
around a woman that's fake. That's all I'm saying. Bitch will
Yeah,
probably
there's some chicks there. Everything
I
about
agree
them.
with Adam.
Everything
I
about
kind
them.
of want to comment on this, but I'm going to digress.
And you have the same inflatable doll
comment, Adam.
of a naked woman in
Inflatable
World War
doll.
II.
Inflatable doll.
I'm hearing a cacophony of things, voices, and I don't know what is being said to me. So
you should comment, Adam.
It's
okay.
all good.
I mean, I left a written comment earlier, but I guess I'll speak on it too. The way she read it, I didn't feel like she really was hurt. The thought of it was more of a commentary on society. It was more of like, you do this to yourself. You know the risks. You know what you're doing. You put the pressure on yourself. We are far enough along as modern society that if you're doing this, if you're Kardashianing yourself, that's your own fault. You made your bed, you lie in it. Yeah, because they were all gorgeous. Now they look like freaks.
I know, that's terrible.
That's just my opinion. That does not express the opinions of the LCN. Or that is Adam. You can come find me. Bring your heat. I don't care. I think they're fake. They look like plastic, and they melt.
Me too.
So I prefer a natural woman. I prefer a natural woman anytime, any day, any moment. She don't need makeup. Her hair can be tossed. She can be in sweatpants.
I agree with that.
She can be built like a iron board. I don't care. I love women of all varieties because it's more about the soul and the heart in the end. And I think Lizzie was trying to express that a little bit in that piece roundabout. That all this superficiality is kind of nonsense.
Yes, it is.
All right.
I think most guys like the natural women. Oh, Silk. I want Silk to comment. Silk and then
you make me feel.
No, what got me, Lizzie, was the way you read that poem with that like upbeat, cheery, like sunny, like attitude in your voice, but totally sarcasm too. I was like, oh hell no, and because the poem is actually pretty dark if you stop and think about it. I mean, you totally had that sarcastic edge throughout the whole piece, and I love the good sarcasm, and that definitely had it. It's crazy. I agree. It's crazy what women and men will go through. I mean, especially us guys with our hair and shit too. Like I'm getting thin on top, and I see guys go nuts and start doing every crazy thing in the book to stop that, and including going and spending like $20,000 on fake hair.
I appreciate coming from the other side of it because men go through body dysmorphia too.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I mean, guys lose their hair, man, and that's hard shit.
Look at all the pressure though all the women have to be, everything else is rough.
Oh, don't worry, the tide is going to turn. The tide is going to turn.
Oh, good.
For sure.
Good.
I don't think it's good.
But yeah, and
I don't
also
think anybody
there's
should
always
have to
a risk going under the knife too, and you really, I think you painted that, and that's something people don't think about. And anytime you go into anesthesia, there is a chance you will die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
It's a very small chance, but there is a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always been a chance. Even like liposuction. We know that's what killed Kanye's mom, which was unfortunate and a tragedy.
That's what killed Joan Rivers too, I think.
So
that should be
Razz,
I don't know why people do it.
Why? I don't know. Because they don't feel they're good enough. Razzie, Razzle Dazzle.
Yeah.
Dazzle.
I didn't see any of this being on cosmetics or plastic surgery. What I read was basically someone who has now fulfilled every other person's desires, and they're a lady killer. They're, the real thing when it comes to being a man-eater. You just go around from one to the next and ruin these souls, because a man will always lust over a beautiful woman, and it's usually his downfall.
There you go, Razz. Amen.
Yeah,
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes, it is.
No, it's in the eyes of the beer holder.
The beer holder, beer goggles.
Right.
Yeah, the old goggles. The old goggles.
Did you ever hear the say?
That's a good quote right there, baby.
My brother said too.
Beauty is in the eye of the beer holder, or the wine glass, I suppose.
I go after 9 Coronas, everybody looks good.
Yeah, after 9 Coronas, everybody looks good. Mine. Yeah,
Yep.
really. I love it. All right.
What do they say? A 2 at 10 is a 10 at 2.
Oh, man. Well, I think either way, if you reduce the fractions, I'll be a 0. So here we go. I'm gonna request somebody. I'm gonna go my way. I have a friend who, I have a couple that submitted for my show tonight, and I'm gonna make sure I want to get to them. So, I've requested Blade to read this for me. So that's I'm gonna post it to the board here. And I know it's going to be wonderful.
Is she still with us?
I am.
Oh, I haven't
checked.
Okay. I haven't checked the board. I was afraid I was going to see Blade drop. I'm going to lose my mind.
I'm no longer here.
And there goes Wayne. Oh, dang. Wayne's gone now. All right, Blade. Thank you. I appreciate this.
Yep. 4 horsemen. You inform my thoughts, tantalize and tease with words as your conquest for my body takes root within a single pat of the hooves, grazing on passion's grass, sweet with a devilish twist. My impulsive mind wars across untouched flesh, padding quietly and waiting, in want, famished in the groves of hell, craving affection from your torment, from your words of torture. But alas, this fantasy is destined to wither, and death shakes my universe as the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse ride conquest, war, famine, and death. End poem.
Thank you, Blade. A wonderful, sensual, dark piece here. I'm going to just, anybody, I don't want to just pick someone and be like, no, not me. Okay, Silk. Definitely
you
Silk.
You have to, Adam. Just go.
Definitely Silk. Silky Smooth.
Definitely me, huh?
Unmute yourself.
And
yes, I'm calling on you, buddy.
I'm up here. And that was a great read, Blade. First off, I thought you did great justice here, and I loved quite a few lines in this poem. It had it had the deep sensuality, and it had the deep darkness too towards the end there. And to me, I really loved what it was talking about. What were these couple lines here? Oh yeah, grazing on passion's grass, sweet with a devilish twist. My impulsive mind wars across untouched flesh. That last line in particular was a great line. Kind of an envious line, honestly. I thought it was awesome. But then down here where they're talking about this fantasy is destined to wither and death shakes my universe. It's like the sweet and the bitter. You gotta take the good with the bad, I guess. And it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. I'm sure she appreciates your envy, your Venus envy. No. All right, Lizzie, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought this was a really I haven't read much from her, so this is like maybe the second or third poem I've actually read. So I'm still getting used to how she writes, but I think this is a really great piece, and I picked out the same lines that Silk touched on, because I thought that it was really well written, that grazing on passion's grass, sweet with a devilish twist, and my impulsive mind war across untouched flesh. I thought that was really an amazing thing. And then, the padding quietly and waiting and want, famished in the groves of hell. Like, she's
right.
working her way. Yeah, she's working her way to that last part with the whole 4 horsemen coming in, conquest, war, famine, and death. And I just thought it was a really uniquely written. It was just, it's a short piece, but it's really a very deep one. Like, I really enjoyed this piece.
Awesome comment, Lizzie. I'm sure she'll appreciate hearing that. Boo, what'd you think of this?
Yeah, I haven't read too much to her either, and that was a great read. I love her name, Kate the Naughty Poet. Yeah, this isn't very long, but this is very sexy. As you conquest for my body, take not with a single pat of snooze, like sweet and devilish twist. Yeah, she's almost welcoming it, inviting it. Craving affection from your torment. I just thought of silk, sorry, but that's just where my mind went.
Yeah.
Really
I'm looking innocent.
With her. Like, she's down with just I'm sorry to put it this way, but no, I'm not going to put it that way. Never mind. She's down with getting, like, beat up and fucked up, but enjoying every second of it. And she wants to be conquered.
You know what?
She wants to be taking control of it.
You're right on with that, definitely.
The initiative. And she's not shy about it, and that's what I like about this poem.
It's a wonderful piece. Yeah, you'll find that she's very revealing in her writing. You know, you'll see this throughout her erotic writing. She's definitely forward about things, and she can borderline sensual, but she definitely goes and puts it out there too. She's a great writer. She's new to our group, so I suggest people start checking her out. You know, as she shares more and feels more comfortable, I want to try to give her a spotlight tonight, and she was gracious enough to give me a piece to share. So I appreciate the comment. Anybody chomping at the bit, maybe, who really...
Oh, Rack is.
Rack, are you chomping at the bit on this?
Well,
maybe it's a gag. I don't know.
As long as you promise not to forget the person that actually read it, because I think she might have something to say. But since you're asking me first, the thing that struck me the most is the idea that came across when she brought us full circle to the four horsemen, to death. So when I hear that expression, loving someone to death, that has more than one meaning to me, because I'm always looking for puns and things. So you know, it could be a romantic type, you know, loving someone beyond death, but it could also be one of those, you know, overbearing. It's like, get away from me, and you know, and hounding me till my death. So but combined with the sensuality, it's got a really layered feel to it. You know, it's kind of hard to nail down the whole theme of why she circled to death in like the Four Horsemen type of a way. It's like that's the end all be all, the ultimate. It's saying she found the love of her life, and you know, she doesn't need to look for love anymore, or you know, is there more to it than that? Is it like you drove her to death? So again, it's one of those things that in my head I would have to picking apart, because it's not as straightforward as it sounds at all. Not to me, anyway.
Great. That's a great insight. I don't know, we always appreciate any view into any piece, and it's wonderful that, like, I was really starting to key in on the last line to bring in the Four Horsemen, even, like, to think the order that she gave them. I don't necessarily know if that is the order they come, no pun intended, but because you see that as conquest, right? So you imagine, like, the beginning of a relationship, and then war, the fighting between, and then famine, like that moment. It's so familiar that the love life is maybe dead, and then death. But it just it's not necessarily that. But I started thinking of that towards the familiarity of it.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, it's interesting. Razz, would you like to speak on this?
Yeah, I know the right order.
Yeah, Razz.
Such a good person.
I know the right
by every secular word of the Bible, by chapter and verse. The right order would be first came pestilence, famine, then came war, and finally death. And so, as to these four horsemen, how they're portrayed here, it's always going to be an antisocial statement. When you look at the world as it is now, and you say that the very horsemen of the apocalypse, they're about to be riding on and cause the destruction of all mankind and everything we will ever know. You know, it defines the theme of the night, anti-poetry, even coming from minds like Chris Carter on the series Millennium.
Wonderful.
Giddy up.
Wonderful comment, and I agree. It's very anti-poetry to take something like the apocalyptic end of the world and to apply it sexually or erotically. That's an amazing idea.
Love it.
I think we all should be like in awe of that idea. Like, how does she came up with that? To take the four horsemen and the end and the apocalypse and bring that into rapture, like literally like the rapture of your body as you're about to, that's beautiful.
You love it. You know,
well
you love
done. I definitely love it. All right.
She's the first one with the horses.
Rack,
anyway,
do you have a poem?
I have a couple of poems.
Did you put on the board or?
No, I didn't put any on the board. No.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I called.
Well, go for it, man.
No. I mean, did you put it? I'm just checking. That's why I called you today.
Okay. You want anti-poetry? Soup kettle. It's poetic prose. It's something a little
kettle?
different.
Coffee kettle. It should be in the studio. I'll get the poem. Adam, if you want to get soup kettle. Rack's.
I have to find it. Okay. What is it called? What?
Just type in there, Rack.
It's called, I think it's called soup kettle. But keep reading your friends. Don't worry about me.
Yes. We'll do you next round. I'll get it for you. I'll get it
kettle.
for you. You can do somebody else.
My thing is freezing right now, and my studio's freezing. Awesome.
I'll get it, Adam. You do somebody else, and then we'll go
back
to
I had to refresh all my stuff.
Dang, my studio's freezing as I'm trying to type this.
It's okay. You can do somebody else, and then we'll do Rack.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when you're solo in the studio, but I think some people understand that.
I'm in the studio.
All right, I got a SoundCloud. I already got a SoundCloud, so I'm going to go ahead.
Okay?
I'm being told to do things. I had no idea, impromptu stuff, and I had a way I thought my show was going to go, and I'm being told to do 100 other things. So,
you're a guy that used to being told what to do.
Welcome to being a host.
Hey, I am used to that. So we're going to do a SoundCloud right now of Naomi. All right. So let me post her actual poem to the board right quick. Okay, never mind. We're going to slow down because I don't know if she found the SoundCloud or what. I see we have the soup kettle on the board.
So you can do Naomi. I'm looking for the SoundCloud still.
Okay, she's still looking for the SoundCloud, buried somewhere in the midst of audio clips. And I'm a poet and didn't know it, or perhaps I don't want to show it. Maybe if I give up and slam this, I might not know it. All right, copy, paste, here we come. I miss the days of yore. I don't know what I'm saying, just filling air. Here we have Naomi's piece on the board, and I'm about to play the sound clip. Here you all go for wonderful, naughty Naomi.
Beneath papered walls. A society wherein lifeless worms float at the bottoms of bottles of tequila, drowning in conformity. Where we roam endlessly entrapped inside mind-papered walls, pecking holes through our brains, bleeding beneath pasted paper cuts of politically correct protocols. As we secretly tattoo into our skins the colorful flights of insouciant butterflies in the comfort of our cocooned lives, too terrified of the surge of hissing serpent tongues if we dare take flight. Oh yes, let us shout hallelujah, pray, and say amen with our legs uncrossed shamelessly, naked, just begging for it with our thighs spread wide, while rifles are proudly hung atop chimneys beside a cross, and portraits of our children as we listen horrified to the news about another mass school shooting. Following the golden rule, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, unless they are of another race, religion, sexual orientation, or God forbid their lawn be greener than ours. All of us wanting to eat steak, even when we only deserve bologna. Looking to others for the cause of all our problems instead of staring into a mirror. In a world wherein 1% possess all the wealth, while half of humanity lives on less than $5 a day, and only one child out of 5 gets to go to school, where a dollar sign is more important than the birth of a newborn baby, with plastered mouths and plastic smiles. Let us continue to just whimper at everything, complaining about anything as we struggle to walk, oh, so straight and righteous in a world where all our sidewalks are cracked, twisted, and slanted.
Damn.
Wow, twisted indeed. Drop the mic on that social commentary.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love this. I agree wholeheartedly. But I'm going to digress. Lizzie, I hear you speaking up, so please.
Yeah, well, no, this you definitely dropped the mic on this one, Naomi. This was amazing. The whole way that you grabbed this, I mean, how, and I say this all the freaking time, how people act like they are so fucking holier than thou, okay? And, you know, oh, so God-fearing, but these are the same people that do the scummiest shit on the planet, okay? And
damn, how do you really feel, Lizzie?
You know, I'm sorry, but it's one of those things, like I always say, church does not save your soul, okay? It's your actions that save your soul. The building does not do crap for you. You know, just because you went in there 7 days a week and you're praying over there and your knees are freaking bloody from doing it, does not save you. What saves you?
What about my Hail
Mary,
Mary,
in your heart?
No,
you know, and there were so many people, and I see, you know, and I tell my kids this all the time. You know, it's what you do in life, not just because you're acting so holier than thou. It's what you actually do. I mean, it's in the Bible. God knows what's in your heart. That's what applies.
Mm-hmm.
Not
absolutely
this nonsense, you know, about you walking around thinking you're holier than thou, but you're casting a stone on everybody else around you. Meanwhile, you know, people who live in glass houses shouldn't be throwing stones, kind of shit. And you know, it's just I was hearing her reading, and I'm like, this is just so everything I believe in.
Speak on it, girlfriend. Speak on it.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll preach on it all day. Like, I'll stand on any rock and preach this all day.
And you know what? I'll take the stone hits for you because I'll be right there with you. Let me take the hits. I'll protect you. Silk.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dan, this was a powerful piece, I thought. I'm here. I thought this was a very powerful piece, and her song was awesome. And I agree with what Lizzie is saying there. Just because people are, you know, going to church. I think it even says something about that in the Bible, too. It says the people who, some people like to go to church and be seen doing good work and be seen. They like everyone to think of them as holy people, and then they say that I think the Bible says those people won't get into heaven. They've already had their reward on earth as being seen as the good person or whatever. And I might be misquoting, but I think I'm kind of paraphrasing what it says there. But no, I really dug this whole piece. I say, oh yes, let us shout hallelujah, pray and say amen. With our legs uncrossed, shamelessly naked, just begging for it, with our thighs spread wide, while rifles are proudly hung atop chimneys beside a cross, and portraits of our children as we listen horrified to the news about another mass school shooting. It's like, damn. I thought this was just a very powerful, hard-hitting piece, and she just kind of killed it. I really enjoyed it.
I agree. And a great reveal, great comment, and true. She definitely, it was like an expose, and it was the truth. If anything, it was the truth.
Yep.
Razz, would you like to comment on this?
Yeah, when you have a condition where children are not being taught what's right to think in school, like critical race thinking, then you're definitely wandering along the edges of creating a society that no longer believes in its fundamental values. And if you take away that foundation, then everything else is surely to fall. So this is dangerous, that everyone has to be informed over not all on an eye-to-eye level.
Absolutely. That's a fair shake at it. Boo, you mind commenting and relieve me for just a moment, please?
Sure. Yeah, I agree with Lizzy. The anger evident there, Lizzy, in your mind. I was like, whoa, But you're right. These hypocrites that want to judge you and say all this bullshit, but they're the ones that are sinning and thinking like a couple of Hail Marys is going to save the day there. I like how she calls it lifeless worms float at the bottom of bottles of tequila, drowning in conformity. Always the ones accusing. Mind paper walls. And I love the way she reads because she always has an attitude. And she always seems like, she doesn't really care if you read it or not. Let us shout hallelujah, pray, and say amen with her legs uncrossed. Shamelessly naked. She always throws her naughtiness in there. And that makes it poetic.
I'll say in our Father to you, Boo.
1% possesses the wealth while half of humanity lives in less than $5 a day. Well, that's so true, too. And, this is a really great poem with a lot of true facts, and it's a lot of truth to it. Entertaining as always. Rack, did you comment?
No, but that line about the $sign being worth more than a baby being born, the whole social commentary was brilliant, but that line more than any of the other ones just resonates because every decision that people make it turns out to be, at the end of the day, a business. It doesn't matter if it's what's right. They don't care if it goes against standards or conformity or whatever. It's like, well, this is the bare minimum that I have to do, and this is all I'm going to do because to make a change is going to cost us too much money. It's not worth it. And that's what people really need to learn because that's the reality of it, and it's scary. It makes you want to crawl under a rock or hide at the bottom of the damn swimming pool, like Blade said.
Yeah. True. Yeah. All right, Adam, you back?
Yes, I'm back. Oh, wonderful. I caught the tail end of that, but it's definitely true. It's a sad situation sometimes. I mean, not everybody fits into this mold that we see in this piece, but it definitely seems to be the bigger chunk in my experience in life. Mm-hmm. But I've seen the other side, and I've seen some of the most gracious, giving, authentic people in religion. So, with that, by the way, Jethro's on the line. Jethro?
Yes, I believe I should be unmuted now.
Hi, Jethro.
Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Jethro. Greetings from Sweden. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Jethro. Hello.
Hello, Jethro. Hello.
Hello, Jethro. You beautiful, crazy genius, you.
Duncan the Troubadour.
Do you want music?
All right.
You want music?
Music? I'm Jethro.
Not yet.
Behave yourself.
Rack,
all right,
still processing. I know you need to go, Rack, but you're still processing, so I'm waiting.
I don't need to go. I don't need to go.
I just wanted you to know I didn't forget you.
Yeah, I mean, has that piece not been already uploaded before? Because shouldn't it be saved in the memory of the studio? Couldn't find it either.
I couldn't find it.
No.
Yeah, I looked. I couldn't find it. So.
Well, it's processing.
We just go to the next one on the list.
Sure. Let's find that order. So we're gonna. I'm gonna go with P.M. Murphy. So he allowed me to choose a piece of his to share. So few, so few does he share on here. It's going to be a treat, I feel, to have others see his writing. And it's a shorter piece. It's a great piece. I guess I might as well go ahead and read it because I'm feeling a little left out of my own show.
No.
There you go.
I'm used to talking and commenting and.
Razz is the official Patrick reader.
I feel a little like colorless. I feel gray, and this is not his. I'm not used to it. I'm used to being, flavorful and all that, flav, and I'm so like muted and like an island. I feel, but I digress.
Aww.
This is P.M. Murphy's piece here. Yesterday's Garden.
Albatross is more white after all, so you're sort of an albino to begin with, aren't you? Colorless.
Well, I'm very pasty white anyways, but I'm about to read this piece. All right, so this is P.M. Murphy, Yesterday's Garden, and I digress. I did auto rank to find out what the